If you're going to build the longest road in Nigeria's history, this is where you will start. Lagos. The ports, the money, the traffic, the workforce. Every logic of construction says you begin here and work your way out. Nigeria is doing the exact opposite. This is Kilometer Zero, a border post called Illela in Sokoto State, where Nigeria touches the Republic of Niger, and where the Sahara is close enough to send its dust. It sits in the northwest, the region where in a single recent year, nearly 3,000 people were kidnapped for ransom. And this is where the construction began. Not at the rich end, at the hard end. The road Nigeria starts is enormous, 1,060 kilometers, 7 states, Sokoto, Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, down to the Atlantics at Badagry on the Lagos coast. Like building one motorways from London to Milan. Reinforced concrete 20 centimeter stick, designed to last 100 years, solar lightning for the whole route. And strangely, for a highway contract, dozens of dams. Here is where the story takes a turn. The idea for this road is almost 50 years old. It was first drawn up by Nigeria's first elected president, and it originally started from the coast. When that plan came to life in 2023, it was flipped. Keep that in mind. Over the next few minutes, it's going to explain everything about this project. Why would a country start its biggest road in its most dangerous region? To even guess the answer, you need to see the problem Nigeria has carried for over a century. Nigeria stretches more than 1,000 kilometers from its northern border to its southern coast. And those two end works like different countries. The south has the ocean, the ports, Lagos, the commercial engine of West Africa, handling the goods, the money, the imports. The north has the land. Northern states grow about 70% of Nigeria's grain, rice from Kebbi, onions and tomatoes from Sokoto, livestock and groundnuts, the food supply for over 200 million people. But the road between them were never built for that job. Freight in Nigeria move almost entirely by road, and the route from the far northwest to the coast are long, congested and battered. Therefore, for a farmer in Sokoto, distance is not an inconvenience. Is the difference between selling the harvest and watching it rot in a truck. Fresh produce don't wait for bad roads, so the north grows food it struggles to sell. The south buys food it struggles to receive. Two halves of one country, connected on the map, disconnected in reality. Nigeria has known this for generations. In fact, the solution being built today was first imagined long before most Nigerians alive today were born. And the man who came up with it was from the very region where the road now begins. It's 1979. Nigeria has just returned to civilian rule, and Shehu Shagari, a school teacher from Sokoto State who rose to become the country's first executive president, takes office with big infrastructure plans. Among them, a superhighway from Badagry on the coast all the way up to Sokoto in the far northwest. One spine of road stitching the country together. Notice the direction. Shagari's vision began at the sea and climbed towards his home region, the conventional way round. But in 1983, his government was overthrown in a military coup. The highway died with it, and for 4 decades, through military rulers, through the return of democracy in 1999, through administration after administration, the plan sat in a drawer. Then in 2023, President Bola Tinubu administration reached back nearly half a century, pulled an old blueprint off the shelf and changed just one thing. Kilometer Zero moved to Illela on the Niger border. Construction would run north to south. Even the name was reversed, not Badagry Sokoto, but Sokoto-Badagry. In October 2024, at Illela, machines started moving. We will come back to why the flip matters, because the reason is bigger than symbolism. But first, you need to see what is physically being built, because this is not a normal road, and the difference is the whole point. Quick question before the numbers. What do you think most highways are made of? If you said asphalt, you're right. That's what most of the road highways are made from. It's inexpensive, quick to install, and good enough for most roads. But there is a catch. In hot climate and under the weight of endless heavy truck, asphalt slowly bends, cracks, and wears out. turning road maintenance into a permanent expense. If you're still watching and you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe. Now back to the video. This highway takes another route. It's being built from 20 centimeter thick reinforced concrete. In some sections, workers are laying a special type of concrete road with continuous steel and reinforcement to avoid any joint crack or fail. It costs more to build today, but is designed to last for about 100 years, and Nigeria isn't building it from one end, it's building it everywhere at once. In Sokoto State, a 120-kilometer section with crew at Illela, Gada, Silame, and a string of other communities. In Kebbi, the longest stretch of the corridor are 258 kilometers, where concrete paving and solar streetlight installation are already covering the ground, and the leading phase has passed 40% completion. In Niger State, a 127-kilometer component through the center of the country, and in the South, Section 3, 162 kilometers through Lagos, Ogun, and Oyo, where work began in late 2025, and roughly 25 kilometers of carriageway were finished by mid-2026, on track against 26-month contracts. Add them all together, and 100 of kilometers are being built at the same time, the largest single road construction project in Nigeria's history. But look closer at the contract, and you will find things that don't belong to a highway. Solar lights for the full roads. Fine. CCTV along the corridor. Unusual. And then these dams, dozens of them, planned along the routes, holding water for irrigation. The logic wasn't just to move the north harvest faster. It was to make the harvest bigger. With water available year-round, farmland that produced one harvest a season could produce 2, even 3. Then there was the rest of the plan. Lighting along the entire highway, cameras watching the entire route, water delivered to the land beside it. Those aren't random features. But every project this ambitious has a cost. And in this story, that is where the real debate begins. The Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway and its sister project, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, running along Nigeria's southern shores, were costed together at over 13 trillion naira at launch. For Sokoto-Badagry alone, approvals have stacked into the trillions, nearly 2 trillion naira for the Sokoto and the Kebbi section in 2025, and a further 1.7 trillion, around $1.2 billion, approved in 2026 for the next Kebbi stretch. The financing has gone international. In April 2026, Nigerian National Assembly approved a $560 million syndicated loan from Deutsche Bank, Germany's largest bank, to fund the first 120 kilometers, backed by a guarantee from an arm of Islamic Development Bank Group. And nearly all of it is being built by one company, High-Tech Construction, the firm behind the Eco-Atlantic Sea Wall in Lagos, part of the Shagari Group, the business empire of Lebanese-Nigerian billionaire Gilbert Shagari. Today, his company owed Nigeria's biggest construction contract. According to Business Day, the contract was awarded without open competitive bidding. Critics, including opposition politicians and civil society groups, says that breaks the spirit of Nigeria's procurement law, and they point to the long personal relationship between Shagari and the president. The government's answer is simple: capacity. Very few companies in Africa can build a road of this size, and High-Tech has the experience to do it. Nigeria procurement law also allows contracts to be awarded directly in certain situations, but the debate isn't over. Some parts of the dispute are still being decided in courts, so both things are true at once. Nigeria is building the most ambitious road in its history, and Nigerians are asking hard questions about how the contracts were signed. A project this size doesn't get to skip scrutiny, but the contracts are not the biggest deal here. The biggest risk is the map, because it's time to answer the question from the beginning: why does this road start at Illela, the northwest of Nigeria, where Kilometer Zero sits, is living through a security crisis? Armed criminal group, often called bandits, operate across rural parts of Sokoto, Kebbi, and neighboring Zamfara states. Kidnapping for ransom has become a major security problem. Between 2024 and 2025, nearly 3,000 people were abducted across Nigeria's northwest, more than 60% of all reported kidnapping in the country during that period. In parts of the corridor's own local government area, farmers cannot reach their fields without paying armed groups for access. Communities near Niger border has faced attack from Lakurama, a militant network linked to Islamic State Sahel affiliates, which Nigeria designated a terrorist organization in 2025. The region with the most farmland in Nigeria has farmers who cannot farm. Now the reverse map starts to make sense. The government's argument is that this isn't just a highway, it's also a security strategy, and the details of the project points to that. Solar street lights keeps the road lit at night. CCTV camera make it easier to monitor movement. The dams are meant to support farming again in the region where poverty has made it easier for armed groups to recruit. By starting in Illela, the government is sending resources to the region facing the biggest security challenges first. That's why Kilometer Zero is in the desert. The flip was the policy. Whether that strategy will actually work is a question only time can answer. Critics argue that a road alone cannot stop kidnapping and that a highway passing through insecure area will need protection long after construction is finished. So far, with security forces deployed along the route, work has continued on every active section, but the real test will come after the road is completed. One thing is clear. This is one of the most important infrastructure projects for the communities it passes through. The first phase is targeted for 2027. Full completion will take years beyond that. Section by section, budget cycle by budget cycle. Some of it will slip. Big projects always do. But if you stand on the finished road in Kebbi today, the debate fades away. The road is real. It's being built, kilometer by kilometer, across the same land and through the same challenges that delayed it for 47 years. Shehu Shagari never lived to see a single kilometer of this road built. He died in 2018. Why the highway he envisioned still exists only on paper. The school teacher from Sokoto imagined a road that would connect north to the sea. Nearly 50 years later, Nigeria turned that idea around and began building it from its own home region. This road has a sister, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, built by the same company, just as ambitious, just as controversial. That's the story for another day. You might want to check my channel whether I have it posted. If you want to see what Africa is really building, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Kindly like and subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.